So after a good 5 to 6 years of us waiting for the live action Avatar to release, it finally did. I honestly really wanted to dislike this show. I'm not a big fan of remakes, especially when it's an animated show to live action, but this live action Avatar genuinely surprised me, and it was actually a lot better than I expected. Now obviously that does not mean it was perfect, but let's talk about it. First things first, let's start with the things that I actually did enjoy. The casting choices for this show were actually a lot better than I expected, and I'm gonna be honest, maybe that's just me having very low expectations based on the last abomination of a live action Avatar that was made, but this one did really well. Everybody seemed to have their nation and actually fit into it, which was pretty good, and the one that surprised me the most that actually grew on me a lot was Sokka's actor. When I first saw him get casted, I did not see it. Then I saw the trailer and I heard his voice a little bit.
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
But after watching this full show, Sokka's actor is Sokka, and I can't even lie to you. He does a great job of playing Sokka. Aang was also casted really well in my opinion. There aren't many child actors that you can get completely bald and put a tattoo on their head, so he did a great job. And while on the topic about Aang, the one thing I don't love that they did with the live action is they made him more of a crybaby in my eyes. Obviously, he didn't want to be the Avatar, and we all got past that, but at a certain point, he gave up and wanted to become and do what he had to do. But throughout the entirety of season 1, it seemed like he was complaining about it the whole time, which wasn't really how he was in the animated show. Or maybe I'm forgetting. Please do let me know. Another positive thing that I really liked was the bending. The bending was done really well, and it looked beautiful. Fire bending looked incredibly powerful. Water bending flowed really well. No pun intended. Air bending was portrayed really well, and we even got to see some earth bending, which was awesome. And all of the hybrid animals and the spirits and all of that were done really, really well, and they looked almost one-on-one, which was scary. Especially Heibai. Heibai always freaked me out when I was younger, and seeing him in this live action form was so wild. So those were a few positives, but let's get into a few negatives that I think of. First things first, the pacing of the show was pretty bad in my opinion. They kind of jumbled things from season 2 and season 1 and just mixed them all into one season, and it was a little weird, especially from someone that watched the animated version. Now, if you've never seen the animated version and you watch this for the first time, you won't care. And before someone says, well, this is their rendition of it, it's not supposed to be one-on-one beats, I get that, and I never went into the show expecting that. They didn't completely change story elements or any of that, of course, but they just made the pacing of this show really, really weird. Each season, Aang is supposed to learn an element. Season 1, he didn't learn anything. He was crying the whole time. That's what it feels like. And that's one of the things that I didn't love about it. And the main thing about Avatar is to build up their story. They had 3 seasons, and they did really well with building those 3 seasons up to the big finale. The live action version didn't really seem to build up anything. He got out of the ice and then just started traveling the world, it felt like. That is my main major complaint of the show. The pacing just felt really, really off, and there wasn't any build up to anything. Also, this next thing isn't really a negative, just something that I noticed. I do wish they made the show a little more comedic. It felt more of like a drama show, which it's not really supposed to be in a way. Obviously, it's gonna have its serious moments, and those moments did really well, but it felt more like that was the main driving for this live action version. That one was me nitpicking a little bit, I'm gonna be honest, but I just wanted more comedy in the show. I do understand that it is hard to translate the Avatar animated comedy to live action because a lot of the comedy was more physical, so I do understand it, but figure out a way to rendition it into the live action version. Those are the 2 main things that I didn't love about the show. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's horrible. I just didn't love the pacing, and I wish it was a little more funny. Like, legit. But for a live action Avatar that actually decided to take it seriously, they did a great job, and I have to give credit where credit's due. Also, I hate using this word, but an ick that I have is the fact that there are people that are watching this without ever watching the animated version, and it's annoying me. I have a couple friends that are watching it without ever watching the animated version that came out 20 years ago, and this is their first introduction into the Avatar world, and that's so weird to me. But hey, to each its own. I'm just glad Avatar is getting more attention, and they have stuff on the way for the next couple years, so this is going to be awesome. They also did renew the live action for season 2 and 3, so we're going to get a complete story, a complete finish off to this live action story, and I'm interested to see how they do it. Overall, I do think the show was decent, but we'll definitely see how it goes through the next 2 seasons, and definitely let me know what your thoughts are on this first season.